Welcome to this audiovisual module focusing on the second part of the visioning process for your federations. This began in the previous module, which was about preparing or activating village level leadership for conducting and facilitating a village level visioning process. This whole module has been designed by Mr. Girish Pradhan and myself, Shivaji. I shall be guiding you through this module so that you have all the necessary information to successfully facilitate this program with the federation leaders. This is the second module, and this focuses on consolidating the vision statements from the village level visioning event, prioritizing them, and then looking at the major indicators in each of the dimensions which have been identified in the village level visioning. For example, health, education, livelihoods, rights and entitlements, etc. This module also looks at their current status at the national, state and district level and then sets target for each of the indicators for the federations. As part of this training, the leaders of the federation would be facilitated to finalize their vision statement for the federation and then discussing the major strategies for each of the dimensions. This training has 10 sessions and this training will require around 20 hours, which roughly translates to 3.5 days for the participants. Now, coming to the preparations that are required for this training. The finalized dimensions from each of the VLOs has to be put into a chart, and that chart has to be brought as part of the training on the first day itself. The VLO leaders have to come in with these charts from their village level visioning exercise, which was held in their respective villages. If possible, small pictures and photos from the various visioning exercises can be put up as a panel display. This can be a very good way of refreshing the memories of the leaders and also adding to the fact that they have done a very good job of facilitating such a pivotal and an important meeting at the village. Logistical arrangements for the training like venue preparations, especially if the participants are going to stay back for the night, like power backups, arrangement for rodents, mosquitoes, among other things should be taken care of as per the checklist which has been provided at the end of this module. The room should be adequately lit for the training to take place. Too much darkness can cause discomfort and fatigue for both the trainers and the trainees. It would be great if the room is not too near the main road, as otherwise there are going to be a lot of noises from the traffic and people walking past, which is going to create a lot of disturbances during the session. So take care of these preparations and ensure that these are done. Have a look at this slide. As you can see in front of you, these are the sessions in the program. As you can see in this slide, all the sessions of this training program have been lined up in front of you. We start off with a welcome and introduction session. We do an expectation mapping and we share the objectives. We do a reflection of the village level visioning that has taken place. We consolidate the vision with the federation leaders and then facilitate them to prepare a vision statement. They then consolidate the prioritized dimensions. They look at the measuring indicators which are important for each of the dimensions and understand their current status, and then the federation leaders are helped in setting targets for each of the dimensions, which is done in the session 7th. Session 8 is generally concerned with finalizing the strategies for achieving these targets. Session 9 is about understanding the factors that are going to affect the achievement of this target, and session 10 and 11 are basically concerned around the knowledge, skills and attitudes required to perform the role, and finally, what kind of changes are required in their own behavior for bringing in the desired transformation in their federations. So now we come to the first session. As you can see, as the name suggests, this session is about introduction and also to an extent unfreezing the participants to each other and also with the trainer. This session will take about an hour or so. The facilitator shall first welcome the participants and ask them about the journey from the respective homes. The facilitator would then announce that although some of you may know each other, but this would be a good opportunity to know each other even better. So please form pairs with a person whom you know the least. Wait for them to make pairs. There may be some confusion at first, but as a facilitator, you have to be patient and remind them that they have to make pairs with someone who they are not very familiar with. Once you're sure that the pairs have been formed, then give these instructions to them. And remember, these instructions need to be given in a very loud and clear voice. Here are the instructions. Introduce yourself to your partner. And then share your understanding as to why do you think you have been chosen by your VLOs as a representative to the CLF or the Federation. Give them about 5 to 6 minutes to discuss and ask the participants to introduce their partners and share their partner's reason for being selected as a representative. Once the sharing is over, repeat the major aspects that the participants have shared as the reasons for being selected as representatives. Having shared these reasons, invite all the participants to give a round of applause as a mark of respect and happiness in the faith that has been reposed on all of them by their SHG members.
So now on to the second session. This session is about sharing the expectations of the participants and will take around half an hour, and the materials required are markers, meta cards. Meta cards are rectangular pieces of chart papers where the participants will record their expectations. We will also require a whiteboard, and yes, always keep the good old LCD projector ready for this session. It will be very good to have a designated space ready to paste the meta cards once the participants have written their expectations. First, tell the participants that you are going to share some meta cards with them, and then share these cards and ask them to write the 3 top things that they want to learn from this 3-day training, which they can then apply in their role as a Federation representative. Remember to remind the literate participants to help those participants who are unable to read or write, but also remind them that they should do that only when they have written their own expectations down. Once everybody has written down their expectations, request them to paste the meta cards in the designated space in the training room. Next, the facilitator should read out the expectations which have been articulated by the groups and then talk about those expectations which will not be covered in this training. As a trainer, you can share the reasons for not being included and also tell them that these expectations are very important and that they will be taken up in the subsequent trainings for the Federation. In the rare case something very irrelevant comes up, politely tell them that this training will not cover this expectation. After this exercise, using the PowerPoint or a chart paper, as the case may be, share the objectives of the training with the participants. This is a very important phase as it prepares the participants intellectually for the subjects that are going to be covered and how it is relevant to their role as Federation leaders. Well, this brings us to the end of the first phase of this training, and now we are ready to dive deep into the other session. So let's go.